right, geeks. It is a rare Tuesday episode. It is Tuesday, March 12th, and it's the Geek Out Freak Out podcast. We are late, Matt.
We're late.
We're late for a very important date. It's Alice in Wonderland, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the rabbit, right?
Yeah.
I know.
It's late.
I know.
All I know is that it's from that commercial.
Yeah, that too. Speaking of commercials, I keep seeing the RoboCop KFC commercial, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, that is in heavy rotation.
It is.
RoboCop commercials.
And I don't ever catch the one I like the most. And I should say right off the top before we start getting into things, I am Jeremy, co-host of the Geek Out Freak Out podcast, and with me as always is Matt Salgado.
Hello, everybody.
I missed the introductions because RoboCop got my attention and my boner. I like the one where they're at dinner and they're just he's laughing his ass off. Like I think that one's my favorite.
I like the one where he barges in, I think into like the living room or something, and they're all watching TV, and he's like telling them, "You have 10 seconds to comply."
And he starts the countdown. Yes.
5 seconds to comply.
Yes.
4, 3, and they just all panic.
Is that actually Peter Weller?
Right? I don't know.
It sounds like
I'm
him.
Sure if it is, yeah.
Whoever it is does a good job. They sound just like the original RoboCop.
Oh, yeah, they're doing a fantastic job with that. I love it. So.
It's good stuff. You're in mourning right now, man. Your favorite wrestler lost his title tonight.
I know. Finn Balor lost the Intercontinental Championship earlier tonight on Raw, and my heart's broken. My pants are broken. I don't know.
All both from the same guy, too.
All both from the same guy. Yeah.
I was actually reading your tweets about Bobby Lashley before we started, so I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He's not interesting.
I don't find him interesting. I haven't found him interesting since he debuted. What was it? Was it last year he came back, or was it the year before?
It was last year, I think.
Yeah, so like he showed up like, post Mania and then like the first Raw back, and I don't think anybody's ever really been too excited about Bobby Lashley. I mean, I'm sure he has his fans out there, but I am not one of them.
I just saw
me putting it nicely.
I just saw a GIF of Mustafa Ali being blasted off of that top turnbuckle.
Oh and my gosh!
It's Mustafa Ali who shared it, and he just said everything is fine.
I'm okay.
I'm all right. Just for everyone who's checking on me, I'm good.
Oh, that's awesome. I did write a review for Fastlane.
Nice.
Last night's Fastlane, so that is available at nerdysomethings.com. If you guys want to check that out, you can definitely go to the website and check out my Fastlane review.
Matt is on the writing binge when it comes to this wrestling stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do at least 1 or 2 a week, and I am going to cover the pay-per-views, so definitely there will be a big Mania write-up. But yeah.
Are you going to cover the Joey Ryan penis party?
Oh, definitely. I'm going to have to order that on Fight TV, and definitely I will cover that.
There's a special, I think it's $100 on Fight TV, where you get like all 20 wrestling shows that are happening that weekend. And it's normally,
that is amazing, yeah.
If you bought them separate, it's like a $250 value, but you get it for $100 if you buy them in bulk. And it gives you access to like all, I think it's 20 total that are airing that weekend on Fight TV, and you get access to all of them.
So much wrestling, so much content. But they also do like live podcast and interviews, so there's gonna be a lot of that stuff going on too.
Yes, definitely. So we'll save some of the wrestling talk for as we get closer to WrestleMania, but prepare yourself, geeks. We're gonna have a wrestling
WrestleMania episode. Yeah, we'll bring that one back,
and we might even do a wrestling movie.
Yeah. No, I think we are. I think we are gonna do a wrestling movie.
Are we gonna do a vote on that one, or do you have one in mind?
Let's just. I don't know. Well, we can do a vote, but I thought possibly No Holds Barred or
do it.
I think one of those, any of them would be great.
Let's just do Ready to Rumble.
Just no Mr. Nanny.
No, oh man. Wait, no, is it Mr. Nanny? Yeah, it is Mr.
I can't
Nanny.
remember. Yeah,
I was thinking Mr. Mom, the Michael Keaton movie, for some reason.
Or The Chaperone with Triple H.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that. Or we could do what's another shitty wrestling movie other than all of them?
So many.
Other than all of them. We should do Fighting with My Family, other than the fact that it's probably out of theaters already.
It's actually, that one's actually probably pretty good. So
I know. I haven't watched it yet, have you?
No, I have not.
But
I've only seen one movie.
We're
lately,
both
and...
we're both going for the same segue.
Yep. So
I saw it twice.
I did. I saw that you saw it twice on Snapchat.
Yep.
We saw Captain Marvel.
Hell yeah, we did.
Yeah, and we went together actually last Thursday.
We held hands.
For
I cut a hole in my popcorn.
Opening night. Yeah, I reached all the way over.
Yeah, it wasn't butter, baby. It was a good movie. It was all right. What do you think?
I highly enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was good. I did not like it, but I wasn't as sold on Brie Larson as I thought I would have been.
Do you feel that she was a little bit awkward at some points?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't probably fully comfortable in her superhero-ness?
Well, she's a big-time introvert, isn't she? I think I've read that
definitely.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I've read that she is like a really bad introvert, which is cool because, someone who is an introvert, I can relate. But I don't know, some of her delivery and stuff, like I thought she was great as Captain Marvel. Like when she became super powerful and stuff, I thought she was amazing. But some of her delivery as Veers when she was kind of gearing up and stuff like that, I don't know. It didn't land with me the way I wanted it to. It was better the second time around. I will tell you that. But the first time I was just like, oh man, like it seemed like there was just one emotion there, and it wasn't like I don't know what it was, and I can't really put my finger on it. But and I think you're right. It was just a little awkwardness. It seemed like. Mm-hmm. Did you kind of pick up on that too? Oh
yeah. There were some scenes in there where you could tell like. I don't know, maybe if that was some sort of emotion she was trying to portray as far as like coming back to Earth and not really feeling comfortable, but kind of feeling comfortable. Maybe she was trying to emote some other kind of feeling that probably didn't get translated over that well. I mean, I loved the movie,
Yeah, it was a great origin story. It was one of the best Marvel origin stories, I would say.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's like in my top 3. But I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was a great movie for Brie Larson to like introduce the character. I mean, especially to a new audience.
Yep.
I mean, there's tons of people who went and saw this movie that typically probably wouldn't go see an Avengers type or Marvel type movie. And I think it's a great way to introduce a whole new group of fans into a universe that's gonna like pull them into it, because she's gonna be the next big thing in the Avengers. She's literally gonna be like the next leader. So what great way to do that by bringing a new character, which brings in a new audience. And I'm talking like mostly women, who probably never felt like they had a place, or felt comfortable going to the movies because all of the main characters are so centrally focused on male characters.
Yep.
And to see a female character that's probably better than the majority of the Marvel universe.
Oh no, she's definitely the strongest Marvel character out there, especially in the MCU right now.
I'm wondering how they're going to tone her down, like coming into Endgame. Like, is she going to be somewhat powered down going into Thanos? Because literally, she was like flying through ships. Like, she could literally fly a hole through the Thanos before he realized that it even happened. So at some point, like they're going to have to like explain, like like she's going to be kind of like. Yeah, a little bit like depowered a little bit,
He's got to use the gauntlet. Like that's got to be her nemesis,
She looked a little weathered, like when she came back and like asked for Fury. I'm sorry before. Sorry, we'll go right into spoilers.
Oh yeah, Matt went right into spoilers into the post credit scene.
She asked, like she looks.
We're gonna talk mild spoilers. We're not gonna get super into them.
Yeah. So no, I just think and I'm glad that they changed her up just a little bit, because enough time had passed.
She had like straight hair and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was smart too.
Did you like the setting in the 90s, in the mid 90s?
Absolutely, I did. This is best soundtrack since I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for 90s music, so I think the soundtrack may have outweighed Guardians of the Galaxy a bit for me, and it played really well. There's one scene where they use a No Doubt song extremely well.
Yeah,
I want
all the right points. I think. Yeah.
I want that damn 9 Inch Nails shirt. I need that 9 Inch Nails shirt.
The Captain Marvel 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, it's got the Marvel logo behind it, but it's all black and gray, kind of like hers in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I really liked the 90s setting. Again, I think it's probably one of my favorite origin stories. I think my favorite Marvel origin story to date is always going to be Iron Man, because I think they handled that one so well. Guardians is a pretty good one too, and Ant-Man wasn't bad. I don't think Captain America holds up as well as an origin story. I don't think Thor was that great of an origin movie. But this one's up there. It's probably top 3 or 5 for me, only on the origin side. But if you put it up against the others, there's definitely others that weigh it down. And I don't think it ends up in my top 3, maybe not even my top 5, just because there's so many other great ones out there. Black Panther, actually, I take that back. It's got to be Black Panther and Iron Man are my 1 and 2. And then she's probably number 3. It tells an origin story so well without being up its own ass, you know?
You consider Black Panther an origin story?
Yes and no. I mean, he was already Black Panther. Maybe introduction. Maybe that's more what I'm thinking. And that's more what I should classify that as an introduction. Because it didn't really show his origin. I mean, he was already the Panther at that point because of his father's death.
Yeah, the origin of the Black Panther is explained, and it's kind of like
Civil War.
Explained that it gets passed down. But,
well, his specific origin. Well, no, he was already the Black Panther in Civil War by that point too. Yeah. But him becoming the king and stuff, I think it was more of an introduction movie. So maybe it's not an origin, but I really do. I think Iron Man's probably the best. Maybe just because it kicked it all off, but it told his story so well. And I always loved the story of him in the cave having to fight his way out and everything. I thought that was great. But back to Captain Marvel, I liked some of the old school stuff that they brought back in. Of course, the 90s stuff, I liked young Nick Fury. I loved young Coulson. I thought
with
it was really...
With two
eyes.
With a full head of hair.
Yep. And then I thought bringing back Lee Pace and Deepan Hansu as Korath, the two accusers, I thought was really good too.
Good, yeah.
I had this little mark out moment as soon because I had forgot. Like I knew Ronan, I knew Coulson, I knew Fury, I knew all of them were going to be in there, but I completely forgot that Korath would be back in there. So as soon as they first showed him in the first 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot all about this."
Yeah, and he's Kree straight up, so that was actually pretty cool to see. Yeah,
I like that character though. I always did. I thought it was really good in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it up until the part where he got his head ripped open in half by Batista.
Yes, by Batista and his skinny jeans and his nose ring.
Yeah. What'd you think about the scrolls? We got a little bit of a flip around with the scrolls here.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting. It was a cool move in the MCU to do that because we knew that the Kree were bad guys. I mean, they were obviously portrayed as bad guys in Guardians of the Galaxy. So we knew something had to change there. And we knew as soon as the promotional materials came out and showed that Jude Law was actually Jan Rog, that we knew we were going to get him as a bad guy in one way or another. So I thought that this was a really cool way to do it. I kind of saw it coming a little bit. Not the Kree, but there was a couple things on there that I pointed out that I saw coming with my wife. I was like, this is about to happen, watch. And then sure enough, it did. But it wasn't bad in any sense. Like, it told a really good story. I really liked the way it went. I liked the switcheroo. The Skrulls looked amazing.
Yeah, I loved the look of them.
They nailed it. They really, really did. And you could tell, like, it was under a lot of heavy prosthetics because the actor who was playing Talos, you could tell he was struggling. Like, his mouth wasn't moving a whole hell of a lot.
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Yes. God, and he's so... man, that dude is a bad guy in fucking everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up his IMDb page.
It was nice to see him, like, not be a bad guy, because I was like, oh, man, he's like... I'm like, yeah, I remember seeing Mindo on the casting, and like, oh, he's a Skrull, so he's going to be a bad guy. But then it turns out, like, oh, cool, Mindo's finally a good guy.
Yeah.
And a real good guy.
He was, let's see, what all was he bad guys in lately? He was the sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood.
He was the bad guy in Ready Player One.
Yep, Sorrento in Ready Player One. He was Orson Kenrick in Star Wars Rogue One.
Yep.
He was a bad guy in, he was Daggett in The Dark Knight Rises. This gives you power over me.
Yeah, he gets choked out by Bane,
Yep. It's just everything he's ever been in. He always plays that swarmy asshole. And he was, I mean, it was great when he was playing Fury's boss and the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he was that swarmy asshole.
Yeah, he did so good, yeah.
He got to play two roles, really, in this. And I thought that was really good because before the switcheroo, you got to see him as a bad guy. And he played his bad guy role. And then with the switcheroo, you got to see him play more of a heartfelt character. And it honestly was like he was playing two roles in the movie, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh no, he did. Yeah, he did play two roles. So
I love the Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo.
The True Lies poster board.
Yes. Keeping it 90s, man.
Yeah, getting blasted by Captain Marvel at the beginning of the blockbuster scene.
So it was a good flick, man. I really enjoyed it. Post-credit scenes were really good. Stan Lee cameo was really good. I liked the Stan Lee opening.
Yeah, the Stan Lee opening, classy move by Marvel, tugged at my heartstrings immediately.
I hope they do that for all movies moving forward.
I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna go back into their regular scheme. Yeah. But I bet you though, I guarantee you, like they'll start throwing in like at least one shot of him in all of them.
Yeah, I think we might even get it for Avengers for Endgame.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige was asked a question: if she gave this cosmic pager to Fury in the 90s, why did he wait so long to call her? And Feige pointed out, he's like, well, she said in case of an emergency. And the person who was asking the questions was like, well, in case of emergency, was New York not an emergency? And he's like, no, absolutely it wasn't. It was one city versus the entire universe. He's like, he had faith in the Avengers that they could stop New York from being destroyed. And then they brought up, well, what about Ultron? He's like, again, he's like, he had faith in his Avengers. And the guy asked him, he's like, so you mean to tell me...
That was a city being floated in the sky. So
yeah, I mean, again, you could point back to Ultron wanting to end all of mankind. So yeah, that might have been a little bit heavier. But he pointed out, because the guy asked him, he's like, so you're meaning to tell me that Fury never felt he needed to call her? And Feige replied back, he's like, who said he never called her? Yeah. So what they're picking up on is, are they the sequel to Captain Marvel? Is it still another prequel? Are they going to move forward, and it's going to be like times that Nick Fury has called on her?
Yeah, did call her
previous to Endgame, which is interesting, and I kind of dig that. Like, if that's a route that they're going to go, and if they do more like prequel stories with her, I would be okay with that.
Oh, definitely. I would love
maybe even just like one. I guess I don't want to go crazy, because I mean, if we are going into this cosmic phase of the MCU, like, you've got to have her there in some form. But and this movie did like lean on the cosmic stuff way more than I expected it to, and it was a good thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the space travel in it. Like, they brought back like the jumping sequences like we saw originally in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yep.
That was really fun to see. Like, just to see those parts. I mean, we got the Tesseract back. Like, we didn't, it was nice to see, like, hey, this is what the Tesseract was doing, like, in the 90s.
Yep. And my wife...
sitting in a lunchbox.
My wife was really bothered by that at one point. She's like, but how does she have the Tesseract? So I looked it up, and IGN had a breakdown on it. And they're like, they got the Tesseract. Howard Stark had the Tesseract, and he turned it over specifically to Pegasus so they could do testing on their light speed by using the Tesseract. So... The project that they were working on was essentially like a joint effort between Stark and Pegasus, because he was giving them the Tesseract.
Oh yeah, it would totally make sense.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a really cool throwback, because that was the first one that we had. Which the
ship we see is like it's like an early version of the Quinjet. So
yep, I think she called it the Quadjet at one point.
Yeah,
which was really cool. How'd you like Goose?
Oh, I loved Goose.
I need a Goose pop vinyl.
The Flurkin?
The Flurkin. I need a Goose pop vinyl. I need that Yonrog one. I really want the the Vers one, which is basically the same that I have now. It's just the Kree colors instead of the red, blue, and gold.
Yeah, did you? I mean, I immediately picked up on the Vers. On the
name
right
for
away.
Dan Vers. Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure this is going to go back to like her dog tags or something. So.
I liked Marvel. I liked the reveal of Marvel. I thought that was really good and really smart.
Yeah. I liked Annette Bening did a great job.
It was a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for it to come to digital so I can watch it on my TV and see how good it looks. It's one of those that I think is going to stand out, and it's gonna be a fun one to watch over and over again. I liked it even more the second time, and I laughed like a lot of times at those movies when they have the jokes and stuff. I won't laugh as hard the second time, and I laughed just as hard the second time watching it. Some of those jokes were really good.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Matt's burping.
I liked it.
Matt's
I did
burping.
burp. I drink water and I burped.
So other than Captain Marvel, how's your week been, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I started watching The Umbrella Academy again.
How is that? I want to watch it.
I'm about to finish it, and I really enjoyed it. It's only about 10 episodes, so you can fly through them, and the episodes really do fly by. So,
Sweet.
yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched anything like in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I took a big break from Netflix and pretty much streaming, and just kind of took it really easy. So I've just been getting back into that, watching that, and I've been watching this show called Yummy Mummies.
Think I saw that.
Yeah, it's like it's an Australian reality show about like basically like rich first time moms, and it's really ridiculous. Priscilla watches it, and so I got stuck watching it with her, and then we finished the last season of a series of unfortunate events. So
Nice.
we wrapped up that season. Yeah, we Priscilla powered through. She loves that show, and so she's the one. Like, I'm always surprised when she binges through a series. So she binged through that, and I sat with her and watched it, and yeah. So we finished that, and of course, iOS and PlayStation just released their Remote Play app that works on the phones now.
I saw this was coming. Have you tried it?
Oh yeah, that's how I've been playing the majority of my games now.
Does it work really well?
I love it. Yeah, it works really good. Like, there's little to no delay, which is amazing.
Huh.
There's a little bit of a workaround because initially you have to use the on-screen controls, but if
that was my next question.
If you're crafty enough, you can, and it only works when you're at home. But if you're crafty enough, you can configure it to where it works with the controller.
Huh? How'd you do it?
So what you do is you sign in. So with the Remote Play app, create a second account, like a second user account for your PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
So make a second PSN account for your PlayStation and sign in with that on the Remote Play app and give it authorization and everything. And so it'll sign in with the Remote Play app with the newly created account, but then with your controller, press the PS controller and sign in with your original account, and that way you can play with your controller.
Huh?
And that's how that would work. Yeah. I was running into issues before because like I was playing as my other account and it wasn't authorized for like purchases or whatnot, and it was just driving me crazy. So I looked up the workaround and got it working, and that's how I've been playing it. So
that's pretty cool. I'm glad that works really well.
Yeah.
Xbox
it works with, I believe iPhone 7s and up, I believe. So and then the newer iPads. So
I know Xbox has one that works on laptops and PCs, and
and originally
the regular Xbox app.
I was using the one for the laptops, for the Windows and actually on Mac, but you lose a lot of like resolution and there's some definite like controller lag. Like I would not feel comfortable playing any online games on that one. But with the phone, for some reason, it feels like the connection is a lot smoother and a lot more responsive. So
it'd be cool to use that on an iPad.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. Yeah, I think for an iPad it'd be great. I haven't tried it, but I was gonna try to play like some Rocket League on it and see how it did. I just want to buy one of those. I want to buy one of those controller attachments that you can like strap your phone into. And
that would be cool.
Yeah, it's just you can like sit back and relax and play games that way. So
that would be really cool.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to let us know how that works once you get the.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So
controller.
I've been trying to look for a good one on Amazon, and I haven't found one that I like, but I'll probably be making a purchase pretty soon. So try to get one in before the weekend, definitely.
Yeah, so you can check it out. Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. I'm glad that works. Yeah. I had just heard about that this week, so.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. I would say definitely put it on the iPad and try it out.
What did you play with it?
A lot of WWE and Jurassic Park.
So. And WWE worked really well?
Oh, yeah, it worked great. Yeah, I played a whole pay-per-view through on it, so...
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah,
and it looks really good?
Like I'm saying, yeah, it looks good. Like, it's sharp. It defaults at 540p. You can definitely up it to all the way up to 1080, depending on the quality of your phone. Yeah, so it'll max out on the older PlayStations at 720, which is the one that I have. But if you have a new, like a slimmer PS4 or a PS4 Pro, you can max that out at 1080. So
That's really cool.
You can definitely get the resolution out of it if you want to. Of course, it's all gonna go through your internet. So the higher your resolution, of course, the higher the bits you're pulling through. But like I said, like I saw little to no lag, and I thought it did really good. So like the big test will be like trying to play like Apex on it and seeing if that's even doable.
You should try that and see what the latency is like.
Yeah. So, but like I'm saying, like at 540p on that little screen, it looks good. Like it looks good enough. Like I do not need it at a 1080p. So. Like your eyes won't be able to justify it. Like won't even be able to discern the difference. So there you go. Yeah. So check it out. I mean, yeah, I'll let everybody know how it works with the like a shooter game, especially like Overwatch or something like that, which I play still.
Something that's a little twitchy.
Yeah. So it should. I think it'll work fine though.
Cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah. And I've thought about. I think it probably make it a little bit easier to like stream, depending on like what kind of streaming service you use, because some people like you can plug like a iPhone or an iPad directly into like a Mac computer, and it'll automatically like stream the screen. So you can take that and probably stream what you're playing along with using your Mac as your main device. So,
that's pretty cool. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So I think it opens up like a new world of like streaming for people. And just like people can check things out and try something new. So I dig it. I love it. So
cool. I'm glad that works, man.
I guess the thumbs up for me.
Thumbs up from Matt.
So have you been playing any new games or?
I'm trying to think. Yes, I started Devil May Cry right before we started podcasting. I finished the first real mission right before I came in here to record. It's not bad. It's fun. The main character you start off as is Nero, and he looks so much like Cody Rhodes that it bugs me. And then the new character that they introduce, V, looks like goth Adam Driver. So that kind of bugs me too. But no, it's not bad so far. I've only played one mission of it. I dig it. It's Devil May Cry. It's got that stylized combat, which is really fun, kind of button mashy back and forth combos and stuff. Yeah. So I'll be able to talk more about that next week. I am currently waiting. In 6 minutes, I will have The Division 2 unlocked. So I'll be playing some of that tonight. I am jazzed for that. I've been kind of still just slugging through with Anthem. And, I mean, it's Anthem. It's not anything to really write home about. It looks pretty. It's kind of fun. Loot kind of sucks. But I have fun with it. And the problem is it's so reminiscent of what it's what I come to The Division for. So with Division coming out tonight, I don't know how much of that game I'll keep playing. Yeah. Like, I'll come back into it because I know I finished the story on it, and I know there's a free story patch. Like, every so often they're going to be putting out new chapters, and there's a new chapter coming out this month. So I'll come back to it for that chapter and play through that story, but then I'll probably put it down and move back over to The Division because there's just so much to The Division. The end game is so robust from what I've already seen. I played through the beta last week, so I got to check that out. And it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot, so I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with the full game. I don't really think I played anything else. There was an update to a game that I've been playing on my Switch called Wargroove that I've been dying for this update. Did you used to play the Advance Wars games at all on Game Boy or anything? So Wargroove is basically Advance Wars. Awesome. I'm positive it's made from the same people. It looks like it plays like it, except it's more like knights and mages and stuff than it is robots and armies and stuff. But the game, when it first came out, was stupid hard. Like, to the point that people thought that the game was actually cheating. Like, that it was figuring out your moves and then advancing stuff, like, in an unfair way. So they put out a patch and put out new difficulty levels. It turns out the difficulty level that we were playing it on was already hard. Like, it was the second hardest difficulty level. So I dropped it down to normal and started playing through it, and it's still a hard game on normal. Yeah. So it's actually a really damn good game. I think it's on. I know it's on Xbox. I think it's on PlayStation as well, and I know it's on PC. It's a great game to play. If you see it, I think I picked it up for like $10 to $15. No, maybe it was 30. I can't remember. I bought it so long ago because it's been out for a while, and like I said, I stopped playing it because it was so damn hard. And I knew that there was a patch coming to fix that. So I stopped altogether and waited for the patch to come out. And I started once the patch came out this week, and I dig it. It's still the same game. It's still just as hard. It's a strategy type game, and like some of the characters will take buffs. Like if they'll get more criticals if they're standing next to each other. So you want to be strategic in the way you deploy your troops out and stuff like that. Like the archers will do more damage, and they're automatic to hit a critical if they don't move before they shoot. So you want to have them playing defense and have people coming up to them and then taking the shots without them moving, so that way you can get the most damage out of it and stuff. So it's got some cool little ways around it. I'm still really early in on the game. It's one that I like to pick up and just kind of poke out here and there. But I don't really think I've played much else other than, like I said, I just kind of picked away at Anthem. Oh, I take that back. I fell into an old game hard this week. I've been playing a lot of GTA Online.
Oh, nice.
I have a friend of mine that picked it up. It was $15 for GTA with this online pack. It was a Criminal Enterprises pack where it gave you like $1 million. It gave you a bunch of free cars, a bunch of free vehicles, and you got a biker gang or hideout, a bank office to run your CEO stuff, and an apartment, and like a warehouse, and like 3 or 4 other things, all for free. And they had that whole pack marked down to $15.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he picked it up, and then I just spent the 15. I already had the game, but I spent the 15 because the pack, if you bought it alone, was like $40. But if I rebought the game again with the pack, it was 15.
Oh, nice.
So I just rebought the game and re-downloaded it for the $15 and started along with him, and we've been running our own little motorcycle gang and our CEO business.
And GTA is going to be that game that's going to go on forever. I mean, I see like another 5 years left in that game.
And it's
like, I honestly did not see them putting out a new one, nor do they need to, because they put out so much online. So
I'm wanting Red Dead to get to that spot, but it's so bare bones right now that I've just put it down, and I'm waiting for them. Like, I'll come back to that game once there's more to it. So I had this feeling, like, I've played so many games lately that are just so ongoing, and like especially like The Division and Ubisoft games like that I know. I mean, For Honor came out, and it was a good game, and over the last year or two, they put so much into this game that it's become so much better. So this whole games as a service thing has become so big, and it's become what I'm so used to, that I had second thoughts about getting Devil May Cry. It's like, this is a single player game, and once I'm done, I'm going to be done. Like, is this really what I want? Do I want something like this, or do I want something that's got a ton of replayability? And ultimately, like, I had seen so much cool stuff about Devil May Cry that it just won out. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
But yeah, man, I'll be able to talk more about The Division. I may try to do a live stream or something on it, or record something for the website this week. I've got a little bit of downtime, so.
I know that Amazon actually had a sell. They were selling, I think it was a Ryzen 5 2600 processor.
Nice.
And you got the Division 2 for like $180, I think. And usually the processor itself was retailing for like $240, like between $200 and $240, depending on who you're buying it from. So on top of that, like if you're into like building PCs and you're looking at a processor, and I would go look at Amazon because they have that deal right now. And you get, not only do you get like a processor that's pretty good, which is like, it's like the mid-tier processor, and like the Ryzen 7's like ahead of it, but the Ryzen 7's like totally crazy right now. Like nobody can really justify owning that, just except for like you having the money to buy it. And so like on top of that, you get a really good processor, and you're gonna get the Division 2, like, which a game that's, you know, designed to take advantage fully of that processor. You know, and you have to get like a pretty mediocre GPU to run with it, but for the most part, I mean, you can play that game on the PC and have a lot of fun with it. So
right. So Josh Trank,
nice
the director of Fantastic Four, took a shot at his own movie on Twitter. Have you seen this?
No.
So a fan tweeted and said, "No superhero movie fails," and Josh Trank just responded and said, "Hold my beer."
Well, it's good that he has a good sense of humor about everything.
Yep. He also shared a note from Stan Lee that said, it was a photo of the note that says, "Hi, Josh. Yeah, I guess I'm okay. At 92, it's hard to know anymore. Hope a kid like you is doing okay, too. Signed, Stan Lee." And he said, "Though you could say I let this man down, Stan Lee always kept in touch." And then he goes on talking about and saying his goodbyes to Stan Lee and stuff like that. But he did state, you know, how he how he knew he let him down with Fantastic Four being such a shitty movie.
Oh.
They said it's not the first time that he has taken shots about Fantastic Four over and over on Twitter in the past, so he knows he made a shitty movie.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure he's vented his frustrations over how the movie turned out. So
Taika Waititi is getting a series for Apple, a Time Bandit series. He's going to write and direct.
Oh, nice.
I will watch anything with Taika Waititi.
Yeah, after his superb job at Thor 3, so...
God, right? Did we talk last week about Idris Elba being in
that,
Suicide Squad?
That just came out. Like, yeah,
I thought it happened.
That's brand new news. That literally... No, my brother texted that to us, like, the day after we recorded.
Yeah.
So, rumor is Idris Elba will be replacing Will Smith as Deadshot.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked, man. That is an upgrade.
Yeah.
I think it is, anyway.
I think it's a great... I think Idris Elba is a great actor. He's obviously not going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. So what better way to transition? And, you know, I think he goes from being like a mediocre character to being a pretty big featured character, which is going to be part of... If it's true, if it all holds up true and he does, you know, does indeed work as Deadshot, which I don't see why he wouldn't.
Right.
To go to be like the second pretty much big character in Suicide Squad is gonna be pretty awesome. You know, it'll be him, and then supposedly I think Margot Robbie's back in talks to be back in the movie.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, so I think if he's on, she'll be in, and it'll be an even better movie. And of course, James Gunn is writing the movie, so
from what I saw, there's a rumor that he may not end up landing the role of Bond anymore. I know it wasn't ever really like officially talked about, but he was a front runner that a lot of fans were begging for.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, from what I've read, is Cillian Murphy, who played Scarecrow in the Arkham movie or in the Batman Begins movies, is most likely going to be the next James Bond.
The only issue I have with Cillian Murphy being in it is that he looks too much like the current Q.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
Like, if you go and you look at both those characters side by side, like, they're almost one-on-one the same. So, I don't see how... And, like, have you ever had a James Bond that was so frail? Like,
God, I know, right?
You look at Cillian Murphy, and, like, yeah, I mean, he constantly looks like the character he played in 28 Days Later.
He needs to put on some weight, man.
Yeah, so...
Tyrese Gibson will be playing an FBI agent in Morbius.
A movie that nobody's never going to see.
Right? I'll watch Morbius, man.
Yeah, did you see the first? There was a set photo for one. And then there was like a concept art of what Morbius will look like.
I didn't see that.
Those were all released earlier in the week, and
I see. There's a set photo here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Jared Leto, so...
Yeah, and there's a supposed, like, render of what he's going to look like as fully transformed into Morbius. Which, it's like, I don't know what they're going to do with this character. We already have... I mean, we've had a vampire comic book hero already. Like, I don't know what the motivation is for Leto to play this character is, but we'll just, I guess, take it from there.
This article here pisses me off already. It says, Marvel producer says the world is ready for a gay superhero. Didn't we already have one in Iceman? Does he
but
not
he wasn't
count?
He's not in the movies, though. That's the thing.
She was talking comics, though. Because it was a comic writer that wrote that article.
Well, I think that's highly interesting because there's plenty of gay and lesbian superheroes already.
Yep. I do think wasn't Iceman the first one to like straight up come out in the comic to have like
I
a coming
believe
out
so.
moment?
Yeah, I believe so. But I'm thinking there's also a few DC characters that have already blurred the lines of that, and
I think so too.
I feel like that writer is probably not very well versed in that subject matter. But you know, I guess they want a more mainstream one. Maybe they want like a major character to like reveal, but.
I think in the movies it would be good.
Yeah, I just like at the same time too, like, yeah, let's do this, let's progress this, but let's just not do it for the sake of doing it. Let's, you know, like I just think they're misstepping in some places that they're not ready for. I think, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had Iceman, but but let's have a more centralized, focused Iceman. You know,
Right.
I think that's what we need is more emphasis on those characters that doesn't just have to be so centralized on sexuality. Like, I'm just so tired of love stories in general. Like, I think a big reason why I loved Captain Marvel was that there was no love story. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a big reason why like Thor 3 was such a big movie was there was no love story. You know,
I think
like,
so
they
too.
got rid of those elements that, you know, for one, does hinder, you know, if there's a man or woman in distress, that kind of like hinders the story line a little bit. So I think a big reason like for Captain Marvel being such a great movie, going back to it, was there was a friendship there. You know, we can allude to it and, you know, have ideas of like, oh, maybe she is or maybe she's not, but that's all speculation at the same part.
So there's an article on Sci-Fi Wire with Kevin Feige where they talk about exactly what you brought up earlier, which the article headline reads, Kevin Feige says not to worry, Captain Marvel does have an Achilles heel. Yeah. So in the article he was asked, in the interview, he was asked, you know, if there's any way to stop her or anything. And he said, you know what? In this movie, we didn't feel like there needed to be. That this movie was more about her being unchained or unleashed. And that's what this movie needed. It needed her to learn her powers, realize herself, and then just devastate. But he said that he did hint that in future movies, you could see her becoming a little less powerful and see weaknesses.
Yeah. I'm going to say her weakness is early 1990s karaoke.
Yes, for sure. Or Street Fighter.
And a Street Fighter game that didn't exist at that time.
Right?
Street Fighter 2 was around, just not that version of the game. I'm just saying.
Not one of those turbos. No, you're
not any of the turbos. Not when she disappeared. Yeah.
Right?
She disappeared in the 80s. So how could she have played that game?
Exactly, man.
But that's just me nitpicking.
Yes. Nitpick away, Matt.
Yeah, if I had to nitpick a movie that I found really, really good, that's gonna be my nitpick. Was she was playing a game that didn't exist at that time, but it was a nice like throwback for, you know, people like our age. You know, I make it sound like we're so old, but I mean, those are all like that's all music that we grew up listening to. Those are all like, you know, movies and shows and music that we listened to. So it was really cool to like. I was sitting next to my brother, and during the movie, and which I didn't mention, but we bought the whole row.
Yeah, you and your brother brought the whole row. So you know what's great? You know what I paid you with? Your own money.
Oh, I figured the one I gave you for Finn Balor, right?
Yeah. So Matt sent me $20 on PayPal to buy him a Finn Balor action figure, a WWE figure, and I didn't do anything with that money. It just stayed in my PayPal account. And then so Kim asked me, she's like, why did you only send Matt $7? It's like, because the other 20 was already in the account. I just paid him with his own money. It was still sitting there. So, yeah, you guys bought the whole row. That was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was something that me and my brother talked about, I believe, at the last maybe Avengers movie. And because so, like, we ended up going to see the movie, like, me and him. And, like, we had bought, like, 4 tickets. And, like, 2 of our cousins ended up going to the same movie, ended up sitting in the same row, but they themselves didn't plan on going to the movies together. That's the way it happened.
Yep.
So we were like, hey, next time let's do it like this. So
and then we always run into you there.
Yeah. So I always see you at the night of. So I thought, well, I'll just buy the whole row and just tell Jeremy to come with us.
So if you're gonna do that for Avengers, I'm down. We'll just get that out of the way right now.
It's already taken care of. Like that's how we're gonna see it in game.
So as it stands now, Captain Marvel is sitting at a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb and at an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it's halfway to $1 billion globally.
Yeah, and you know what though, I think. I know where this movie like kind of sits with me, where I'm just like, I don't know with it. I think it's almost the timing of it. I get, having it on International Women's Day is a smart move, but I almost feel like if we would have gotten it a little earlier, it would have been a little more impactful, because now I'm almost like, as good as this movie was, I almost felt like going in, I was looking past it.
Yeah.
Because already within a month we have Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
So I feel like
But
if we
had
had gotten this movie about a month ago, the timing would have probably been a little bit better. But I get it. Like, it makes a lot of sense to have it on International Women's Day.
Think about the last Marvel movie that came out before this one. Can you even think of it?
Before this was Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
Ages, it feels like. It's already on Netflix.
10 months ago. Yeah, it was 10 months ago that movie came out, so... Yeah, definitely. I mean, they definitely had that built for us. I believe they wanted to see people gain that interest. I mean, gosh, as soon as I found out there was a Captain Marvel movie, as soon as we saw that in credits at the first Avengers, or the Infinity Wars, like, I mean, I was like, bring on that movie. I want to see it. So the only other Marvel movie we did get, what's not technically in the MCU, was Into the Spider-Verse. So,
yeah, that's true.
And Venom and like all of those, but... going into the
we're talking MCU, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so boom. That's our Captain Marvel episode.
Yeah, we didn't mean to make it an episode, but we kind of did.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Also,
it deserves it.
I did finish reading Batman's The White Knight, and
nice.
I really, really enjoyed it. That's where the Joker goes sane. And I'm gonna let you borrow it so you can read it.
I want to read it.
You know what you think about. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool, man. Well, I think that does it for me this week. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it for me as well. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode this week, but...
No, not really. We're at 50 minutes almost.
Yeah, almost. So
we're at 46 minutes. And 46 minutes, 9 seconds. 46 minutes, 10 seconds. I'll keep counting to fill it out if you want.
Okay, Ron Burgundy.
Right? Did you know he has a podcast?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's so funny.
Yes.
Download it.
I have his...
My favorite episode so far is the Stuck in the Elevator episode.
I haven't listened to him yet. I need to.
One, oh my god, I think that one just released maybe a couple days ago. Listen to the Stuck in the Elevator episode. It is fantastically funny.
Are they only on iHeartRadio, or are they showing up on Apple?
No, they're on iTunes.
Okay,
as
cool.
well, so check them out on there.
I haven't read it. I need to read it, but I've got a book written by Will Ferrell in the character of Ron Burgundy.
Oh, that's awesome. You're going to get a little guest star from Ezra probably in the background.
Yeah, I can hear him.
There's a great podcast I shared with you too called Voyage to the Stars.
Yes.
It's mostly improv, but there's a storyline that they follow. That one's fantastic too. Like, it's so funny. If you guys want to listen to a couple comedy podcasts, listen to Ron Burgundy and listen to Voyage to the Stars, because those are highly, highly entertaining.
Cool, good stuff, man.
And don't forget to listen to Nerdy Somethings.
Yes, I'm waiting on a new Nerdy Somethings, man.
Yeah, he hasn't put out an episode in over a month. I'm kind of waiting. But if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out Rob's Nerdy Somethings podcast.
There's a lot of good stuff on the website, though. He's been putting between you and him. There's a lot of great articles popping.
Oh yeah, and there's other writers putting up great stuff. I mean,
I'm just gonna plug you and him because I know you guys.
That's fantastic. I'm fine with that.
Nepotism.
Yeah.
I know we're not related, but you're my friend, so I'm going to plug you. All right, guys, so make sure to, like Matt said, check out Nerdy Somethings. Check out Matt's articles about all things wrestling and about all the wrestling pay-per-views coming up on nerdysomethings.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. You can follow Matt on Tinder. Everywhere we are at GoFo Podcast. That is at GoFo Podcast. Make sure to send us any updates, any reviews. Send us a funny review. Leave us a funny review. 5 stars. We'll read them on the show for you. Remember, any review will get you entered to win a Nerdy Somethings t-shirt.
Oh, hey, I got a review to read. Yes! Now that you said that, I got a review that I got to read. It's a 5-star review, and it's called... I think I know who put this out. It says, it cut it off at the title. It says 2 horrible people. But it says, a great show. I love the sexual tension between the two. I hope one day they realize they're in love. On another note, great show, nerd out. That's from F. Sosa.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow. I know exactly who that is. And F. Sosa. Review. By way, F. Sosa. Yeah, man, leave funny reviews like that. We'll definitely read them on the air. Again, follow us at everything 5 stars. Follow Rob at Nerdy Somethings. You can follow him on Twitter at Nerdy Somethings as well. So they're there. We're there. Check us out. Leave us reviews. That is all.
Yep.
And until next time, Matt.
Laters, geeks.
The Geek Out Freak Out podcast is produced and edited by Matt Salgado and Jeremy Holman. Special thanks to Rock My Bit for the theme song.